How are you? This is Vincent from Burn Stainless with another episode of Vincent Shorts. Today's show is going to be about a couple of motorcycle events that I went to here these last couple of months. First was the Motorcycle Gathering, which was up in Carmel Valley at the Quail Lodge. And the second one, something a little on the other end of the spectrum, but it's going to be the Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival, which was outside of Nashville, Tennessee, at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. At the end of April, we went up to Carmel, and we were gonna ride, but it was a good thing that we didn't because we ended up getting some rain. And I'm a Californian, don't like to get cold and ride in the rain, and I'm not set up with that on my bike yet. So we ended up driving and towing the bike, hoping that we'd get a few moments of being able to ride around in that beautiful Carmel area. So we went in and we just saw some really, really beautiful bikes. The first section there where we went to were some of the British motorcycles, and there were 6 or 7 Vincent Black Shadows, and as you can imagine, that's going to be one of my favorite motorcycles. And there was even a red one, which I don't know, I have never seen a red one. I understand that was a color of the bikes, and this particular bike was really, really cool because there was a guy who was actually an engineer, lived in Bakersfield, and he had wanted a Vincent Black Shadow for a long time. He actually found a bike that had been running around the auction site that hadn't had too much interest in, I guess maybe because it was red. And but it was owned by another engineer who actually bought the bike new, had actually shipped it to Europe, and had done a tour of Europe on the Vincent motorcycle. And he had a photo album of the places that the bike had gone. The owner had actually died, so he picked this up from his family. But it was really neat. He had pictures of the bike at the Eiffel Tower. He had pictures in Italy and the Alps. And it was just a really, really beautiful thing to just see. As you see, one engineer buying a bike from another engineer, bringing the bike back to its former glory, and yet having this wonderful, wonderful provenance. So, really, really enjoyed that motorcycle. Went around, saw a few other bikes as well, including a really crazy home-built. You'll just have to see photos. I don't even know how to describe it. There was some Art Deco custom bikes that were there that actually won one of the awards. Now, unfortunately, as we were moving around, it started raining harder and then harder and then harder. So finally, I was glad I bought the VIP tickets, which got us into the lodge and had a wonderful, wonderful lunch. And we sat down and just kind of talked to various people. And again, at an event like this, you find some very, very interesting people. So one of the guys that we sat with was a gentleman from Switzerland, and he had a Husqvarna, a little 1960s small Husqvarna that he had in the show. But it turns out that he had a lot of different motorcycles, and he was in particular a BMW aficionado. There was another gentleman that, on the other end collected the old Honda ATCs. So he had a whole collection of Honda ATCs, as well as a couple of the old Odysseys. And for those of you that grew up in the 70s, you'll remember what those bikes were. And anyway, so after a few more drinks and eating a lot of barbecue food that just was brought in for the event, we just really had a great, great time. And then just about 3 weeks ago, well, actually 2 weeks ago, we were at the Tennessee Music and Motorcycle Revival, again, Loretta Lynn's Ranch, and that was a Harley-Davidson sponsored event, and one of our groups that we work with, B-Twin Visionary, he had a display at the show. With our display there, Jeff Holt and Dave Rowe and their crew, they do a little motorcycle show within the show, and there were several bikes there, bikes including lowrider that was sporting our exhaust. We were quite excited to see. So that was a cool event, and there was a bikers build-off area. I'm not sure if these bikes were actually built for the show or not, but one of the most magnificent bikes that I saw, and I don't know if it was magnificent, was this one called the dollymongrel. And this was a bike that was made by Weems Motor Company, and he's a guy that apparently has a YouTube channel that is quite popular, in which he builds and restores old English motorcycles. So this particular one, called the dollymongrel, was a compilation of a bunch of different parts. So dollymongrel is actually an English term for beautiful mutt. So this bike was cool. It started with this beautiful fuel tank off of a Triumph motorcycle. It had the front Springer fork off of a BSA. It ran a motor from, I believe it was 1928, a JAP motor that he had put together just particularly for this bike. He had the rear fender off of, I don't remember what now, but anyway, you'll see some photos of the bike, and really just one of my favorite thing. And this guy Weems was just such a enthusiast and such an expert, and one of these guys that's going to make everything perfect. I mean, definitely has OCD to the max, but because this everything on this bike was just done really well. Even though there was a general theme to the bike, but it wasn't anything in particular. And then of course that was beautiful Tennessee, and the rain must be following me around because I was at Daytona, it was raining. I was at Monterey, it was raining, and when we were in Tennessee at the show, it was raining. But we just took cover in one of the many bars that were there and enjoyed just listening to music and enjoying a beer and just seeing kind of the people walk around. It was a fantastic place to see different kinds of people. In fact, I don't do this very much, but I just got a new Canon camera, taking a lot of pictures, and I found a couple of very interesting people who I go, hey, can I take your picture? So they just were so quintessential for the event, and I thought that was just kind of cool, and you'll see them coming up here too soon. So anyway, and my family lives in Nashville, Tennessee, so it was a time to visit family as well and see my granddaughter. So great few days out in Tennessee, and looking forward to more events this year. We'll be definitely going to Sturgis and visiting our friends at Clockworks, and then at the end of the year we'll be going to the Monterey GP races, and I hope to be able to get to the homecoming at Milwaukee at the Harley-Davidson factory. So some more things to tune into, and looking forward to our next video. Remember to click and subscribe to this video so that you can be informed about more tech and lifestyle videos. All right, till next time, this is Vince from Burn Stainless. Take care.